Over the next few nights, I'm getting of conversations with me and JP when he was in prison. I always thought JP was a nice guy, and I still do to this day, but wrong. So I'm gonna be playing some recordings just to show you the sort of stuff that I was involved with, without all the other shit that was going on as well. So if you just bear with me for a little while, and I'm going to play you a 4-minute clip. But what I'm going to do, I've got a lot of recordings of me and JP having conversations, because I'm not sure if anyone's got any of the recordings. Some of them have. I've got loads of letters, I've got loads of recordings, and this is just my way of passing time, basically, and letting you know what's gone on in the past. So we'll just give it a couple of minutes and then I'll start the recordings. But you're going to have to let me know if you can hear it. Right, this recording was on the 19th of January 2020 and it lasts 4 minutes and 7 seconds. Whether it's relevant to anyone, but I just want you to know that we're just going round and round in circles, basically. So let me know if you can't hear it. Right, it's all yours.
Paris, this is the icing on the cake. Stand by. I, John Patterson, today, February 2020, hand over 7 documents to be photocopied by Mr. Jeff Tuso and returned. Penny Bartlett, who is the prison governor, still retains 2 copies handed to psychiatric nurse several weeks ago. Still haven't been returned. Doesn't matter. They were only copies.
It's the 19th today, John.
Most important doc contains myself, hidden camera, on the 1st of March 2016. That was our second visit to BBC London with ex-Crime Stopper director Mr. Brian Setchfield and ex-Royal Air Force engineer Mr. Gordon Bowden. Also in screenshot, Mr. Kelly Curtis, floor manager of the BBC, John Patterson, Gordon Bowden, Brian Setchfield, part 3 of 6. John Patterson, agent. I'll repeat that. Go to YouTube. John Patterson, Gordon Bowden, Brian Setchfield. Now, if Hope's Research have taken that down, don't worry. Everything I've published, I have backed up. And I will remind the listeners, I've only published a fraction I have of evidence on the BBC, which goes back over 70 years when they covered up to Jimmy Savile. Now then, that should be enough. I've just got my canteen sheet. It's on my phone. And if you don't hear from me again, Paris, I will be in touch next Thursday, or if I've got any credits left, I will call you back later today, and I would like some feedback, please.
Yeah, okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine, John. But what do you need me to put any money in your account, John?
No, I have money. It's not a problem.
Okay.
So don't save it. I might need it later, Paris, if I can't get my bank to deposit money.
You just let me know, because I don't want to keep asking you. Just let me know.
I don't see why you and Leola are the only ones that are helping me out here.
Well, we're talking
for everyone.
We'll talk about that later.
Even if they can afford £10 That goes to phone credit. It goes to stamps. It goes to some, I get vitamin pills. I've got a whole range of vitamin pills. And I also buy noodles and chocolate biscuits and treats. And you, your good self, and Leona have contributed far too much. I would like to see some of my followers. There's been others, don't get me wrong, there's been others.
Yeah.
But only a handful.
Yeah.
And even £5 or £10, it shows them that I do get some support in this, because this isn't just about me, Paris. I'm fighting for everybody. It's not about the money, it's what I need to expose these people.
Yeah.
Stamps, phone credits, and I want to keep fit. That's why I'm taking multivitamins, and I intend to stay fit till I'm released, my friend.
Well done, John.
Thank you, Paris. I'll hang up now. I want to save some credit for later. God bless.
Okay, John. Have a good day. Bye. It is January the 19th at 11:39.
I will be coming on with a lot more of these recordings because I'm surprised how many I actually have. And I believe that John was a genuine guy. He done what he done. He's not innocent in everything what he says, but I believe he was gaslit by Mr. Divine and his little crew. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to start flicking through all these recordings I've got, and I'm going to put them up because I don't want to make this worse than it is, and I hope that John plays well and realizes how badly he was gaslit and how much and where he's ended up. Because when I first started hearing about John Patterson, he was so clean that he had a shotgun certificate, and he was led to believe that he was the chosen one to put all these messages out. And all these messages that he was putting out all come from the Divine group, which was the group I was in. I'm not going to deny that. I was in that group. But I saw it before John saw it. This is why John ended up in prison. And this is just a message to people that end up in these groups and believe in all this shit that goes on. So, I mean, I could play other recordings, but I don't know one before I listen to them. But I'm really surprised of I'm going to play this recording here because JP Family History. Now, if I feel that this is going a bit pear-shaped, I will stop it. But I'm going to put it out there, this one, and then, like I say, I'm going to listen to the rest of them because I've got lots of them, apart from all the letters and everything. So I was well involved with this group. But like I say, I saw it was a scam before John did, and he ended up in prison and I didn't. So I'll play this one. It's called JP Family History, and it's on the 18th of January 2020. And this one was the day before the one I just played. So we'll give this a go. But like I say, if it does sound a bit discriminating towards anyone, I will turn it off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm recording and everything. The time.
Listen, I've just come back from the library, looking at the tropical fish. I used to have tropical fish in the young days.
So did I.
I've just been chatting to a prisoner about Tony Blair.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't understand about Tony Blair is that his own bodyguards all about him. You know, he's responsible for the death of millions of innocent people because he tried to tell us that if Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction,
I know.
and he could attack us in 45 minutes. Do you remember that?
Yeah, as clear as it was yesterday.
And I'll tell you another thing about his missus. Well, first I'll tell you about Tony Blair.
Yeah.
Tony Blair was arrested in a public toilet. It was called importuning in a public toilet. But he gave his name as Charles Linton, because those are his middle names. Anthony. So he was released, and then he obviously got his mates in Freemasons to release him. Because you know Tony Blair is the third, you know that?
I didn't actually know that, no.
Yeah, he's also a Knight of Malta.
Okay.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Look, you can research this stuff. I've known it for years. There's another thing about Tony Blair's missus, Sherry Booth Blair.
Yeah.
Her bloodline goes all the way back to a William Booth,
Right.
who shot President Lincoln.
Ooh.
It's the same families and it's the same bloodlines, mate. They can't go to the bloody employment exchange and say, we want an assassin. It's all in the fucking families, mate. It's all in the same bloodlines. Charles Carlin explains it beautifully. So what you've got taxpayers paying for the bodyguard and protection of a fucking mass murderer, and his nickname in Oxford was Miranda because he was a cross-dresser. I've got nothing against cross-dressers.
Me neither.
That was his nickname, and he's married to Sherry Booth Blair. Booth goes all the way back to William Booth, who shot Kennedy, and at the time he was part of, I'm not sure if it was the Golden Dawn or the Golden Fleece, one of those secret societies. That's his missus. And well, I'm not going to go any further because you won't believe the rest I'm going to tell you. But you know, I said to you, all coppers are bastards.
Yeah.
Now, that didn't come from me. That came from Dixon of Dock Green. Do you remember Dixon of Dock Green?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Do you remember that YouTube video that someone had redubbed, like Hoax did, redouble my bloody videos that they copyright? There's a video on YouTube called Dixon of Dock Green in 2016. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
No, I haven't. I'll look at that.
Oh, it's brilliant. I'll tell you the funny thing about those early 50s Dixon and Dock Green, all black and white they were in.
Yeah.
There were no fat people. There were no overweight people in those days. Because don't forget, the 50s, we still had food rationing.
Yeah.
They couldn't get a factor. So they used that. They had this guy called Tubbs. That was his nickname. And they used to stick, and you could see it, they used to stick cushions down the front of his shirt to make him look fat.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not making this up.
No, I know, John, I know.
They even gave him a deep voice, like, as if fat people are supposed to have a deep voice.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So whereas you got Fat Boy Green, yeah?
Uh-huh.
When I was growing up in the 50s, because my parents worked late, I'm going to tell you another thing now. My parents used to work long hours. They were in catering. And they used to say to me and my sister Jane, who's obviously, they used to say, we don't care what you do when you leave school, but don't get into catering because the hours are long, the work's tough, and the pay's crap. Now, my father eventually worked and got promoted to head waiter at the Savoy Hotel. Do you know the Savoy Group?
I know.
Yeah, it's part of a group. And eventually he ended up as floor manager at Claridge's. And I've got to tell you this, what happened one day. And this was in the 70s, while I was living with parents and my sister in Streatham, because we eventually moved out, got a semi-detached house with a garden. remember. It clearly. I said, how does a peanut become a president of the United States? Because I always thought you had to be. I mean, I know we've had Ronald Reagan and all these other people, but if you listen to the Committee of 300, Dr. John Coleman tells about the time when Jimmy Carter was in London being trained at the Tavistock Institute. My father met him in Paris. He came home from work and he said, because my father used to, he knew what things people liked and what they didn't. And I've still got a signed photo from Frank Sinatra that he gave my father.
Oh.
Okay, he used to call my father Chico. I've still got that photo. And he said, as he put his hand to shake Jimmy Carter, Jimmy Carter hugged him. In my mind.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true, of course. Oh, and when I saw the Committee of 300, I thought, oh my fucking God. My dad was bloody floor manager at Claridge's, which is part of the Savoy Group. When Jimmy Carter was over here, he met him.
Wow.
But get this. I had a visit yesterday from guess what book they're going to get me? The Committee of 300.
Oh, right.
I'll call you back in 5 minutes. It just bleeped.
Okay then. For the purpose of this video, Saturday the 18th at 3 o'clock, just before 3.
It doesn't matter what you think at the end of the day. John Patterson is a character. He's got charisma. He's a personality. And it's a shame that he's gone down the path that he went down and he's ended up in prison. It's a shame because I actually like the guy. Does anyone want to come on? Because I'm not really tired and it'd be nice to have a chat. I could playing recordings all night about JP. I've got loads of them. But I'm not going to play them until I listen to them back because I don't want to discriminate anyone. I just want to play you the recordings I've got because John Patterson did tell me to put these recordings out at the time, as well as the letters I've got. I could show all the letters. But if anyone wants to come on and have a chat, I'm here. We chat about anything. Chat about old-fashioned sweets. I love talking about old-fashioned sweets. It's like most of us like talking about things that we've done and been through in the past. Just seem better days than they are now. We're all talking about chemicals and who's right and who's wrong. Whereas the past, we used to just bring up great stuff. But that's fun if you don't want to come on. Just end the live. Another group and argue about stuff. It's too heavy out there. YouTube is a toxic world. I've got a few recordings from Brian Hurl as well. I've got a few recordings from, well, I'm not going to say her name because I think we've made peace. But I've got recordings from Dan Tarragon where he threatens me. This is all when I used to do recording because when I was put in a corner and felt threatened, I had to record stuff. I don't record anything anymore because I don't find anything important. If I'm not being threatened, it's not worth recording. because you have to watch your own back these days. Yeah, I've got one here. JB talking Bible. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I've got one here. I don't know if I've done that one. What was the last one I've done? Oh, I've got the one I just played was JP history lesson. I've got another one here. JP history lesson. JP family history. JP history. Shall we listen to that one? Hang on, let me just have a look through. Yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll do this one. It's 7 minutes 45 seconds on the 16th of January. Names to look up. Because at the end of the day, you can look this stuff up and see if you think it's genuine or not. Personally, I don't care. I like JP. Unfortunate that he got gaslit and he ended up where he did. I don't condone what he's done. So he is where he is. But I don't know. I would probably have a chat with a guy. I would probably let him come down here and do fishing. But whether I would get involved in anything that he talks about, I'm not too sure. So we're going to listen to this one. Names to look up. But like I said before, if I feel that anyone is being stuck out there and I don't agree with it, I will turn it off. So we'll do this one for 7 minutes 45.
God, John, I'm all ears and I'm all mic'd up.
Okay, I'm going to make this last one because tomorrow I've got something else. There's too much to research in one go. But you've heard of David Attenborough, haven't you?
Yep.
Haven't you?
Yep.
Well, I bet I mean, every time you switch on the news, just David Attenborough, this about climate change. Now then, as you're aware, the Sussexes are off to North America, Canada, yeah?
Yeah.
And I don't blame them because Canada's beautiful. British Columbia is absolutely stunning. I've got friends that live there. Now, I've got an idea with what to do with Richard Attenborough, right?
Yeah.
Also in Canada, you've got Alberta. Now, have you heard of a program called Ice Road Truckers?
Yeah. I used to love it.
It's these big guys who've got these massive 20, 40-ton trucks, and they carry these unbelievable loads over these frozen lakes, yeah?
I actually wanted to do that, John.
Well, what a brilliant job. Now, what I think we should do with David Attenborough, give him a job in one of these trucks, and with a bit of luck, when the ice melts, he'll sink below the ice. What do you think?
It makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. It just struck me as funny because it's on again tonight. I'm going to watch it, and it's a brilliant program. I mean, it's dangerous, but I've always loved the idea because they have showers and everything in them. Have you seen the size of them?
Yeah.
That cab at the back is a cabin.
Yeah.
It's livable.
Yeah.
So,
Do you want me to do, John? Do you want me to tell everyone you watch telly?
No, I'll tell you why, because I'll tell you what, I watched the old westerns, and it's deep blue and there's no chemtrails.
Yeah.
Yeah? When I was in the Navy, I took pictures all over the world, and that's what the sky looks like. It was only when I left the Navy I was 20 years, 1978 to 1998, 97. It was only when I left the Navy I started seeing these chemtrails in the sky. And I'll tell you what, Paris, you find me of deep blue sky, you won't find it, mate. Every day our sky's a milky colour, yeah?
Yeah.
And people don't look up anymore. Their heads are buried, mate. There are children born today that have never the skies we used to see. We used to go camping as kids. We used to get blue skies for weeks on end.
Yeah.
Young kids today don't see it, mate. They don't understand.
No.
If you look at the old movies on the TV, I watch them all afternoon, mate. I love all the old westerns.
Yeah.
The skies are deep blue and there's no chemtrails. People still don't get it, Paris.
Yeah.
Now, I've got letters from DEFRA, from the House of Commons, and from Norman Baker all about chemtrails. I've kept them. Norman Baker done an article in The Guardian about chemtrails, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's known about.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about it. What people can't able be doing it when you've got children of their own and everyone suffers. But what people have to realise is there's parts of the world where they don't spray. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, but they've got a way around all that, John.
Of course.
Because I watched the documentary the other day about that.
They've got ways around it, and
Yeah.
it's all to do with low frequency radiation. And Andy Devine and I have spoken about this. They have ways of protecting themselves. The black nobility, that's why they live to be over 100 years old, mate.
Yeah.
Think about it. They never get cancer, they never have heart attacks, and they never ever die. I mean, fuck me, what's his name? Henry Kissinger, who was an Ashkenazi young, he was an old man. I'm an old man now, and he's still going, for God's sake. What's keeping him alive, Paris? Honestly. My dad used to hate him. I
Really?
could never understand him when I was a kid.
Yeah.
He's the world's biggest. His name's Heinz Henry Kissinger. His code name is Bohr. B-O-R. He's an old Ashkenazi. He's the one that was first announcing order. And when I was a young man, he was old.
Yeah.
Now I'm old and he's still going.
God, that's
Right?
crazy.
Heinz Kissinger. I'd hate to think what they do. I've got a rough idea what they do.
I know what they do.
Yeah,
I ain't saying though, because it's vulgar. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting, mate. And I tell you what, Paris, it's so bad. People have to research it for themselves because they're never going to believe us.
No, they won't.
Thank God they do not control the internet. Now do yourself a favour. I've learned a lot. Terence McKenna, go on to YouTube and put Terence McKenna explains the internet on why they can't destroy a wide web. Because if you destroy one, it was designed to survive a nuclear war, the World Wide Web.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, yeah. Terence McKenna, a video you must watch, 15 minutes long, is the plan, the challenge, and modern society. They're three separate ones.
Okay.
The plan, the challenge, and modern society. He does 5, 6, 7-hour lectures. What someone's done, they've taken sections of it and added music and images. And every picture tells a story. That's why I'm a big Terence McKenna fan. And if people don't have the time to listen to a 3 or 4 hour Terence McKenna lecture, just listen to some of the short clips.
Yeah.
And another one of my favourites, it's only a few minutes long, is what did you do to help save the world?
Yeah, I've heard you mention that.
That applies to everybody listening to this now. Okay?
Yeah. Cool, you're on a long time, John, this time. You're on a long time this time. You're over 7 minutes this time. Oh, right.
Just bleeped and it's a good time. Listen to Terence McKenna. God bless you, mate. Speak to you tomorrow.
Sweet dreams, John.
Cheers.
Right, bye. For the record, 16th of January, what is it? 10 past 6.
Does anyone want to come on? Or are we all going to hide in the background? I'm just playing some videos that phone calls that I've had with JP. Whether I believe them or not is irrelevant. It's just interesting because I've got a lot of recordings. It's quite interesting. A lot of the names that are dropped. Some of the stuff he says is like out there. I mean, at the end of the day, people don't live forever. But there's some very interesting names that are being dropped in these recordings. And it's just something to do. I'm going to mute up for a minute because my dog needs to go out. She don't need to go out. She just wants to go out because I'm talking on here. But I'm going to let her out anyway. I'll be back in 2 minutes and I'll flick through these videos, these recordings, and I'll play one more. And then if no one wants to come on, I'll just call it a night. But if anyone wants to come on and have a chat, that's fine. Not a problem. We can talk about John Patterson. We can talk about anything. Give me 2 minutes. Oh, it's quite fresh out now, I must say. But I must say, it's still windy out there a lot. Let me have a look at my recordings and see what we can come up with. Oh dear. Let's have a look at. Oh god, I've got an 8-minute recording now. Let's play this. 8-minute recording. Let me just write it down because I don't want to what I've actually put. Right, this one's 8 minutes long. Bloody hell, I feel really cold now. I've been out now. This one's 8 minutes long, and I've put on it JP talking the past. But like I've said about this one, and I've said about all the others, if I find it incriminating to anyone, I will turn it off. So buckle up. Don't anyone want to come on? Is everyone just going to sit there and record all this and not say nothing? It's a bit sad, isn't it, really? You should come on and have a chat.
Hi, John.
Hi, Paris, you ready, my friend?
Yeah, we're all ready and up and running.
Right, now I need to explain to the listeners how this all fits together. Round about the same time as the 1992 Rio Earth Summit, George Hunt, you're going to have to play this back. All these things I've mentioned, you must listen to them and you'll see how it all fits together.
Yeah.
Round about the same time, 1992, we had, in 1991, we had Operation Desert Storm. That was when we first went into Afghanistan because we wanted the opium poppies. That's the only reason we went in there. At the time, George Poppy Bush, that was his nickname, he hesitated. Now, you wouldn't remember Margaret Thatcher, would you?
Of course I remember her, John.
Oh, sorry, mate.
John, I'm 57.
Okay, listen, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Margaret Thatcher, as we all should know, was inducted into the Finchley Road fraud because she was MP for North Finchley. She was given the job by the Committee of 300 to order George Poppy Bush to go into Afghanistan. That was Operation Desert Storm. I'll tell you why. The Taliban were totally against drugs. They were in the process of destroying all the opium poppies. This was the Taliban. But the Anglo-American establishment, who've made a fortune on supplying opium to the Chinese, which was the opium trade with China, the British East India Company. Neelu Berry knows everything about that. So does Professor George Lees. I've been studying it for decades. So they also wanted that. That's what wars are all about. Drugs, oil and gold. The reason they went into Libya, Gaddafi, God bless him, he spent all his oil wealth, he drilled into the aquifers below the desert to get the water out. He was greening the desert. He could have fed the whole of Africa, Colonel Gaddafi. He was also bringing out the gold dinar, which would have been direct competition with the Rothschilds. People have to understand the Anglo-American establishment that Carol Quigley writes about in Tragedy and Hope. Carol Quigley was a member of the Georgetown is a Jesuit university, and all governments are Jesuit controlled, and that's a fact. The guy's name is Alan Lamont, Lamont, and just Google Alan Lamont in YouTube. The British government is Jesuit controlled, or the UK government, words to that effect. Herman Van Rompuy, who was head of the EU, is a high-level Jesuit. Just Google, we are Jesuits, Herman Van are Jews. They are not. They lie. They are the synagogue of Satan. 90% of Jews aren't Jewish. They're fakes. They're Ashkenazis or a CIA whistleblower, the Khazarian mafia. So the 90% of the Jews we have today aren't Jewish, so you cannot be anti-Semitic because the real Semites are the Palestinians. And I'm pro-Palestinian because I don't believe the Zionists or the Ashkenazis should be stealing their land and building settlements on them. Are you getting this, Paris?
Yeah, I'm all ears, John.
Gotcha. Now, I've given you a lot of good links there, but there's another good one. The BBC brought out, it's on Inside Out. You can write to the BBC for it. I have it if you can't find it. Planes were flying up and down the southeast coast where I used to live. They were spraying. They were also spraying chemicals from trucks. And in those trucks, there were men dressed in chemical suits. They interviewed one family, and every member of that family died of esophageal cancer. So the British government are actually murdering its own citizens, which is against the Nuremberg Treaty. They're forcibly injecting Carol Woods. And when I went to visit Carol Woods, I read out the Nuremberg Treaty, and you can hear that on a Barry Trower 30-minute reality update. Nancy Pelosi in the States has just come out and said nobody is above the law. In that case, members of the British establishment, and I'd say the whole medical team where Carol's staying should be hung, because the death still stands. It's death by hanging. Thousands of British politicians and doctors under the Nuremberg Treaty should be hung until death, because as Nancy Pelosi says, nobody is above the law. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm including all police crime commissioners that have been told that they are murdering their own women police officers by the use of Tetra, which is those radios they wear on their breasts, and they're all catching cancer and dying of breast cancer. So all you fucking dumbass police, I've been trying to help you. What have you done to me? You've put me in prison, you fucking idiots. Excuse my French, Alice.
I'm loving it, John.
I'm trying to keep calm.
I'm loving it.
Right, now you need this back. You get it on Facebook. It's not anti-Semitic, because 90% of the Jews are Semites. Understand this. They are fake Jews. It all goes back to the Bible, okay?
Yeah.
John F. Kennedy exposed them. He exposed Karl Marx, who's an elder of Zion. John F. Kennedy, in his secret society speech, and also must go on YouTube, find Hitler. Hitler was a Roman Catholic, and the YouTube video on Hitler is, "We will crush the Freemasons." God bless you all. I'll call you back tomorrow. I've just been bleeped. Thank you, Paris. Get this out.
Have a good sleep, John. Talk to you tomorrow.
I will. Trust me, my friend.
Phone me back if you need to phone me, though, because I'll be here, okay? For the record, the 16th of January at 5:15.
Well, whether you believe that or not, he's a very interesting guy to talk to. I'm taking it no one wants to come on. No one wants to associate themselves on this live while I'm showing these recordings. It's crazy, isn't it? The world of the internet. Why John's inside. If he's gaslit and then he started putting all this stuff out. But he seems to drop a lot of names in now. So does anyone want to come on and have a chat? No. We don't have to talk about it. You can talk about other stuff. I'm not really. I'm not ready for bed yet. So, and the wind has died down a little bit. It's absolutely freezing out there, and it's still blowing strong, but it's nothing like it was. But yeah, like I say, I've got. I could go on for a good week at least doing these recordings. All the recordings I got. Did I write that one down? Because I don't want to repeat that one. Oh, I didn't put part 2 on that, did I? I don't condone any of this, and I don't condemn any of it. I'm just putting it out there, the sort of stuff that I was getting involved with in the past. I mean, I thought this was 3 years ago, but it's, what is it, a year ago? Just over a year ago? No, a year ago, isn't it? A year ago no, it'll be 2 years in January. 2 years ago in January, this will be. But yeah, I've got lots of recordings. I've got statements from certain people that have made against me. I've got certain slander against me from certain people from groups. I can't believe how much I actually recorded in the past. I just want to put it out there that I don't actually record anything now. I feel that I need to protect myself with recordings. JP and Freemasons. What else have I got? JP and Harrow Road Police. This is all phone calls to me. This is not all stuff that's out there on the YouTube, unless I've put it out there. I probably have, because I was asked to put it out there at the time. But I did actually get a support officer from the prison to assist me in what I was doing to get me away from this stuff. It's getting quite heavy. Because when I was in Andy Devine's group, I believed in it all. It's like I've got a lot of recordings here, and I haven't really got titles, and they've got new recording. So I'm going to have to look through that stuff before I put it out there. Because I don't want to include normal people that don't deserve it. But a lot of this stuff that I am putting out, you can look up. Whether you believe it's true or not is up to you. Some of it I believe, some of it I don't. What's that one? JP Talking Phones. No, I'm going to have to start looking at some of this stuff, listening to it before I put it out there. Because there is a lot of stuff. I can even show a lot of the letters that I've got, because all the letters that I actually got, I was asked to put out there by JP. Whether they're true or not, it's not my business. I'm just putting it out there. The shit that I've gone through in the past with these groups that I've been involved with. Mainly a group. Wanky Divine's group. But JP was definitely gaslit by Andy Divine and a certain girl that was very sneaky in some of the stuff she done. I think, oh, that sounds interesting, but I can't play it until I listen to it, because I don't want to incriminate myself. So has no one got no comments, or has no one wants to come on, or we all just nosy? We all just nosy avatars. Is that what's going on here? To see if we can sync me, because that seems to be what the internet's all about. Yeah, it's a shame what happened to John, really. I've got a few phone calls from the coppers that I've spoken to about my phones. Yeah, I've got a few. It's only now that I could do it, really, because I can play them on my iPhone through the computer, which I couldn't do before. I've got my interviews with my solicitor, the next steps we're taking, but I probably want to drag up that part of the past because it's irrelevant, really, to anyone else. But I just find what a lot of John said is interesting conversation. So come on, if anyone comes on, at least we can keep this going. If not, I'll just call it a night. Because I know a lot of people like to stay up after night. It's only 1:45. Someone come on and entertain me. I'm not going to end one all night. Or can't you handle this heavy stuff? You prefer it if I'm on here raring with someone? Is that what you want? Is that what floats your boat? Because I'll go on a channel and there'll be like 100 people rare about a load of shit, and it normally involves some drunk. Is that what you want? Because that's a bit petty, isn't it? A bit sad that if two people are not raring, you're not interested. You could be actually educated here by what John said, whether it's true or not, because there's plenty of links to look at. I mean, there's plenty said about Tony Blair you could look up, but you don't want to believe it, do you? Because you follow them. Come on, be brave. Come on, let's have a chat. Let's talk about stuff. I have more interaction when I do something dangerous because I'm sure people just want me to hurt myself than world problems. I think people like to just hear he said, she said, duh, 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 duh. I'll get 100 views then. Bit sad, isn't it? Perhaps I should change my name. So what do we think about the Taliban wanting to destroy all the poppy fields? Do we? We would rather think that they wanted to grow it to make the money. But what if it's true? They want to destroy it all because it's not part of their religion. But the people of power, everything, just like people do on here, on YouTube, they twist everything to make it sound better. We all know that we've abused the world for their minerals. I won't talk about race, and I won't talk about religion, politics, because it's educational. I don't believe the other two are. That's just the way it is. Not one comment. That's not normal, is it? I've had 8 people come on and not one comment. Not one person's come on. All I see is people recording because they want to get subscriptions. Make someone else look bad because they've got a perfect life. Yeah, but they don't have to have anything to do with him, do they? We could talk about something else. I was just showing you the recordings and how everything's gone wobbly. I'm not saying I agree with John Patterson. I'm just letting you listen to the recordings that I've had and what I was involved with in the past. and that could well have been me going to prison. But I just find it strange that John's done 18 years of this stuff, and as soon as he goes on Andy Devine's group, he gets put in prison. I know some of this stuff's deep, but it's there. It just shows that some things that you talk about can make you end up in prison. You've got to be very careful what you talk about and do about it. But this is all stuff like 2 years. It just makes you wonder, though, doesn't it, that someone could put that much time and that many years into stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, you refine what you're saying and what you're doing over time. You learn. And to be put in prison because of what you're saying, just don't seem right. Well, if the weather dies down tomorrow and the wind is blowing the right way, as long as it's not too strong, I'll be getting up my trees and cutting them down. But I've had 2 really bad days of strong wind, so I couldn't get out there and do it. I can't even get out of my boat. It's just too cold out there and too windy. Even my neighbour's moved her cars because she reckons she's heard a crack in one of my trees, but I think she's a bit over the top with her drama. I'll be able to relax a lot more when I get them trees down, because every night I go to sleep, I just think one's going to land on my boat and sink it while I'm in it. I'm sure there's plenty out there that would like that, but my dog and my cat wouldn't. God, I've been on here an hour. That went quick. I only played a few videos, 7 minutes long, and it's an hour later. I'm going to call it a night if no one wants to come on. Sweet dreams.